Hello.
Hello.
Wagwan, Wisdom.
Wagwan.
How's it going?
Bonjour.
Hi.
Can I get a Wagwan in chat?
Oh dear.
So
I'm not
first,
seeing enough movement.
no, not enough movement, guys.
Not enough movement, boys. Come on. Pick up.
Right, lads.
Nice, there we go.
Oh, careful, why is it this close? Right. I think first of all, we ask Bean, how was your day?
James, my day, consisted of 24 hours. How's your day been?
My day, consisted of
did.
24 hours.
Why are you lying?
You know what's
Well,
cool?
technically, it didn't consist of 24 hours. It consisted of
23
cool?
hours and 56
I know this
minutes.
doesn't. I know this doesn't have much to do with my day as it is, but yesterday I got a job.
bro.
Yeah.
Wait,
during,
what?
during lockdown, that's
Yeah.
improbable.
Well, it was hard to get, but to be honest, I think they want as much hands as they can get.
Crazy. What is
So
it?
you know how I live opposite an industrial estate.
Yeah,
Well, you don't. You might not know, but I do.
you live like
um,
near one somewhere.
So there's like a few factories and stuff, and I'm in there, and they got me putting, caps on deodorant cans,
Wow.
and it's
Uh,
quite good. There's 12 of us, right? We're all miners, so we get paid less.
right.
Okay.
And so it's a little bit like sweatshops, but
A little
like-
bit.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm getting a bit of money, ain't I? So I don't really mind.
How much do you get per hour?
Crazy.
Wow, £4 an hour, really.
Ah,
It's
Is that,
alright.
is that
Minus.
rewarding?
Is it a
Look, I mean,
fulfilling
it is
job?
what
it's
it
a
is.
rewarding job.
I enjoy what I do. I put caps on deodorant cans. I mean, without me, there would be no deodorant cans.
I mean, you
It's-
think,
There would be
think in this
caps.
day and age, there would be a machine that could do it, and they didn't really need you.
You'd think
well,
so.
And then they could just do everything for us. And
Maybe they're just
know-
trying to step back a bit, get back into our like industrial heritage. You know,
True, I do respect hiring workers. when
back in the
machines can do
day,
it.
there
yeah,
used to
exactly.
be
I think
whole teams of people putting
honest,
caps on deodorant bottles.
he's one of these big lads who's like, oh yeah, mate, bloody robots can take over the world and that.
Oh, is
so
it? He's one of
I'm
them
gonna get-
donnies.
Yeah, so he'd rather get children in.
He doesn't drive an automatic
operating-
car.
No, because he's scared that it's gonna
Yeah.
control the steering wheel. And
But how does it know when to change gear? It just doesn't make sense.
So yeah, it's not the safest place. Like there's a lot of cogs and stuff. But I mean, if you just get your hands in quick and out and in real quick, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Although I do say that Johnny did have a bit of an incident.
Oh,
Oh god.
did he do?
But yeah, if you snooze, you lose. Well, Johnny, right? Yeah, he's not terrible. But sometimes a bit of metal gets stuck in the grinders, right?
Yeah.
And you'd think there'd be like a tool, like a tong or something. But no, you just grab it.
No.
Just do it. Like no gloves or anything. Like
No, we get gloves. We get little when you have a snowball fight, you get those little furry gloves. We get them.
oh yeah. Okay. All right.
provide good protection.
Which, to be fair,
grinding
doesn't
massive
actually.
gears.
Yeah, it doesn't actually make it that helpful. Sometimes they catch on fire.
Wow. And this is all just for putting caps on deodorant cans.
Mhm.
I mean, deodorant is flammable.
Wi-
Everyone knows
Without
that.
us, the industry would die, Robbie.
I mean, alright, fair enough.
We're a very
You do
important cog in a very vast machine.
You do your grind, bro. Are
I know,
you,
I'm on my grind. Yeah.
are you in the union? Like, how's that working?
What's the union?
Not allowed union.
I don't know what that is, man. Sounds communist.
It-
Too communist for me, bro.
Yeah. Anyway, should we get on to some topics?
We can.
But yeah, but that's me getting working. You guys, I could actually give you guys recommendations if you want to get in.
You know what? I think I'll pass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Doesn't sound like the working conditions.
I mean, maybe I could design a new Tong
like-
design
But
to.
you get a free Coke like break.
Oh shit!
cocaine
Yeah.
or Coca-Cola.
No, Coca-Cola.
So they're paying
pretty
you
sick.
in
Well,
Coca-Cola.
It's not Coca-Cola. It's like cola.
Right? Is it like off-brand?
An off-brand Coke.
Yeah.
It's like Pepsi. It's what
Yeah.
it is. It's what it is.
Yeah. like Pepsi, but not quite. Yeah.
They just need
Not
a
quite as-
designer for
not
new
quite as
tongs.
branded.
Though.
Yeah.
Pepper.
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Uh,
Pepsi over Coke.
right.
Someone-
No,
what is
gonna be
there?
able
Dr.
to see
Pepper.
that. Right.
Well,
Does
do you know
someone
what-
want to take lead with a topic?
You know what, I'm alright.
You know what, Angus? What did you do?
Yes.
What
What
did you
did
do
I
on
do?
Thursday?
On so on Thursday, I almost burnt down my house during our physics lesson.
Wow.
Right.
How? I don't.
So I was playing with this multi-tool, like one of the shitty ones that like dads get because it's cool.
Right.
And I found something I hadn't before, which was a piece of flint. So
If you combine it with steel, you get a flint and steel.
I know, but I was just like, oh, I've never actually used the flint and steel. Let me just make a couple sparks. They landed on my book, and if I hadn't done just one, it probably could have set fire to my physics book.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So did it actually like burn a little
No, I'm
just for a spark on?
yeah, it just threw a spark on. It was quite far away, so it
How
cooled
did
down
it
quite
not-
quickly.
Oh,
I don't think that would have set fire to it. I'm not gonna lie.
I think you need more
Because-
like
Probably not.
scratched up paper.
Because like train tracks
Yeah.
make sparks.
Yeah.
You know
I
what I
mean, but there's
They
not
aren't-
paper by
Yeah,
it.
there's not paper.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like grass and people.
Trains are made of
and-
Yeah,
paper.
but
Grass is
grass is
wet.
full of water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Grass is not full of water. It's like 90% green.
Okay, no, but okay. So let's say, well, it's not 90% green, but let's say that it's like 90% colorless and 10% green. Colorless doesn't contribute to any of that composition, so it looks green.
It literally does. It's 10%. You've said.
What?
10% color.
Yeah, if it's
Yeah,
if it's
10%
green-
colorless. So out of the 100% composition, it's 10%.
No, but it doesn't contribute because it's colorless. So
So you're saying
say a
color.
blade
You're
of
saying
grass.
I feel like
white people don't
something-
contribute to
I feel like-
society.
Yeah,
I feel
and
like
let-
something
except
colorless
me,
does
I
contribute.
provide the deodorant industry a valuable asset.
James, I don't think this is a real job.
No, it is.
I think you're getting like traffic.
Well, no, I don't think so. It's real. It's safe if you're quick.
What do you say, man?
What is the danger?
Well, there's like lots of cogs and stuff.
Rusty nails.
'Cause,
Rusty
like-
nails.
Yeah, so I can describe it to you. So what happened is the can comes along on like a conveyor belt,
Right.
and there's like a machine that you put the cap in and it locks in place, and you pull a lever and it shoots it onto the can, right?
Right.
But sometimes it fucks up, and like the cap like breaks a little and gets in the machinery and shit, and then that's when you got to pull it out.
All right.
But it's perfectly safe.
Right.
I mean,
Sure.
sure, man.
That sounds safe.
So anyway, but back to blades of grass. Let's say a blade of grass is 50% green and 50% colorless. What
But
color?
why would it be 50% colorless? If it was 50% colorless, it would just be 100% green.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. So
No,
water-
that's not what you're saying. You're saying it's 50% green, 50% colorless. That doesn't mean
Yeah.
anything. So
but-
you mean it's 100% green? Why are you saying it like that?
because you might not be able to see it, but it will look green. Does that
Then
make
it's
sense?
relevant. It's 100% green.
No, seeing isn't necessarily. Wait,
Believing.
that's not the correct saying I was going for.
Okay, sure, man. I've
Anyway.
got a question for you though.
Yeah.
Do you believe giants were real?
No.
Are you an idiot?
Because there were. Well, I mean, when we say giants, how big are you talking?
Just like bigger than average humans. Let's say like
What basketball players then?
consistently people who are over at least 7 feet.
Okay, I think that's believable because we did have those humans that were better than us. They weren't humans, but like, what were they?
What do you mean?
Homo. Because you had,
Neanderthals.
yeah, Neanderthals. Yeah.
They weren't better than us. They were
They
whack.
were-
They couldn't
they
use their
were.
thumbs. They were whack.
No, they
They
could.
could.
They could use their thumbs. They were stronger than us, bigger than us, and were actually smarter than us. But because they were bigger and smarter, they didn't have to adapt. They didn't have to get like bows and shit. Because they could take a woolly rhino's like charge, right? But we couldn't. So we had to find ways to take them down from afar. And so that's where we started to innovate.
But why did we kill off all the Neanderthals?
Well,
we did-
I
well, we
think they died out, didn't they? Like
Yeah,
when
yeah.
the Ice Age came, they were bigger and stronger, but their muscles needed more energy, so they needed to eat more.
Yeah.
But food
They
was harder to
also
come by.
they also just bred into our society and just faded away,
Crazy.
which is another thing.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Well, I
Thank
think
But
we're talking about a little bit bigger than something then. You know
Okay,
what I
well,
mean?
there is a limit for like land animals, like
well-
of size.
What do you
I
mean?
feel like back then.
So
it would've
You're
been-
wrong. I know.
I'm not wrong.
Have you ever seen a dinosaur?
No,
Yeah, I've
but
watched
we know
Jurassic
they
Park.
existed.
Yeah.
When-
So we're
well-
talking maybe like
Yeah. So
the size of a dinosaur.
okay, the size of dinosaur.
Well, smaller than that, but
When?
like I don't know, like
I think
a couple
one of the main-
thousand BC.
One of the main problems with giants is the fact that their bones, the strength of a bone is determined by its cross sectional area, but since whenever the volume of something increases,
Yes, loud.
yeah, whenever the volume of something increases, its cross sectional area. I don't know. I'm explaining this badly, but basically, as things get bigger, their bones don't get big enough fast enough, so their bones can't keep the weight of whatever they're holding. If that makes sense.
How do you know they didn't come out the womb with massive bones?
Massive, like
Yeah.
tree trunks for bones.
And how do you know they didn't grow real slow? Like,
So
and maybe they're just better, so their bones do it.
I'm not sure I understand. So
It's
What-
saying that
what
the
part of
bones
bone?
wouldn't grow quick enough to
Well,
support that.
oh,
Just-
okay.
I think.
It might not have anything to do with speed.
But if-
I mean, just the bones wouldn't be big enough to support their
But-
weight if they're.
But
like 10
we have
tons.
elephants.
Yeah,
But
and dinosaurs sort of thing.
Their weight split over four
Yeah,
legs
Leggy.
That's true. That's true.
instead of being bipedal.
But how do you know they didn't have strong bones?
But we would have found some.
Yeah, we would have found massive.
If they're that big, they wouldn't.
Well, I don't think we would have found some because we're finding new animal bones every day.
Yeah, but we've.
So what if there were only like 20 of them?
20 giants.
And like they were ages ago, so they're all deep under the soil.
I mean,
We just can't find them.
What I was
Crude
gonna
oil,
say
we've
is
used them
that
to power our
the
car.
oxygen levels between now and 2000 BC are practically the same, right? And the only reason dinosaurs were able to grow as big as they did was because there was a much higher oxygen percentage in the air. So now that we have a lower oxygen percentage, animals can't grow as big. So if you're saying dinosaur-sized,
Well, no, I'm not saying dinosaur size. Like, well, maybe of like a medium-sized dinosaur, because
Well,
dinosaurs come in all sizes.
basically, the elephant is kind of the limit for land animals.
Yeah.
Like you can't get much bigger than that without. Without.
Well, imagine an elephant standing up. Let's say that size.
I'm sure that would have been realistic back when oxygens
Yeah.
were.
I guess that's
oxygens.
no. I guess that's fair, Bean.
Because they found a foot in the rock.
Yeah, but it
some
could have been
dude could have just
artificial.
chiseled that out.
But look at it. You see that like little top segment? That's like where the foot has been lifted out. I don't think someone would have taken the care and attention.
You
to
know,
do
I
that.
think,
How on earth is someone heavy enough to make that imprint?
Also,
Well, no, because years ago
also
the rock would have been softer.
also, Bean, if you're taking that image as a, can we get it up? If you're taking that image as a, let's say the proportions are the same to a human, right? A human is fucking massive. Like
Yeah.
their foot are the size of, nearly the size of an average adult, like that lad there.
Hmm.
So that contradicts the oxygen intake thing. They
I don't
literally,
think so.
if they were proportional,
But I don't see like why you're saying oxygen has to be.
because it
thing.
does.
No,
Because
it doesn't have to.
Yeah, it does. In 2000
But
BC.
how do you know that they didn't have different lungs that filtered more oxygen?
Because there's no way to filter.
They had
oxygen.
bigger mouths, James, so they would have got more oxygen.
Robbie, insects filter oxygen throughout their entire body, and they can't grow that big. So
Yeah, well, we're
surely
talking about
that is the
giants, not
most efficient
insects.
Yes,
Giants are badass.
But even if they had the most efficient way of transporting oxygen, which insects do, then they can't.
No, but I'm saying they can take in a lot more oxygen because they're bigger.
I'm pretty sure
But
there's a
they also need more. They
Yeah.
take in more, but they need more.
but the more that they intake is something like it's like a square law. I think it's not like equal to the amount that they can breathe in. It's like much more.
Yeah. But how do you know they didn't have big ass mouths?
Because I don't know, man.
Yeah, man.
But the mouths don't make a difference.
Because they can take in more oxygen with big ass mouth.
I mean, you'd want a larger surface area in the lungs, wouldn't
Yeah.
you?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they probably
so-
got that as well.
Yeah, because they'll have bigger lungs, but
But
they'll
but then
also-
that's taken up room for the
Yeah.
other organs, which also need to function
I mean, I'd be
on a
surprised
much
if
wider scale.
But like, but we see giants throughout culture everywhere. Like ancient Egypt, they talk about giants. In the Bible, they talk about giants.
Greek
Greek mythology, they talk about giants.
I think what was the guy with the sling and the big lad?
David,
Georgian.
David and Goliath.
David.
So I think Goliath, one, it's metaphorical, and two, even if it was literal, I don't think Goliath was that big. He's
No,
probably
but they
just
talk.
like,
Yeah,
just
It was just like Andre the Giant.
but they also talk about
or
them
what.
in Genesis.
okay.
Yeah.
I can't remember what they're called. Adam,
Yeah,
this is why you're
mate,
here.
I can't exactly remember, but basically
Ah.
they're fallen angels mainly
Yeah.
with humans.
Yeah, and the children are like half
Yeah.
human, half fallen angel.
Yeah, and they become like weird monsters. Yeah,
Hmm.
and Goliath wasn't like a massive giant; he was like a
So-
big boy.
Are you saying we can't shag angels?
No, you can. Just your child will be like huge.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's like wait,
Huge.
that's basketball players. That's how they get them. Bloody hell!
The
I figured it
mum
out.
back there.
I figured it out.
Broke the code.
Jesus, that's cheating. That's got to be cheating. But that's like genetically modifying a child.
What? Having sex with an angel?
Yeah. Specifically to make a basketball player.
What about the small ones? Like the 6'2" basketball players?
No, they're like rats scuttling around.
Rats.
Mm.
They're speed.
They shouldn't be on a basketball pitch. Only people 8 foot plus are allowed to be on a basketball pitch.
There's only been like 3 8-foot plus basketball
Hush.
players.
I mean,
How do you know giants existed? So maybe they played basketball.
You
Conclusion:
weren't there.
giants don't exist.
Maybe that's how they went
Back in the
extinct.
Bronze Age,
Because they were playing so much basketball, they all got injured.
got cardiac arrest and just
Yeah.
collapsed on them.
Do you have any more evidence that giants did exist, apart from being in the Bible and ancient Egypt?
No, but I showed you that
We all
photo.
know.
Thanks.
Wow.
Photo is undeniable.
I don't
proof.
think they're real.
What about Bigfoot?
No, definitely not.
It's just
But
some
everyone
dude
sees them.
with their own
What are you
foot.
doing to me?
They probably just see like a bear or something and mistake it.
Yeah,
Like-
like a bear scratching its back, like in
Yeah,
the Jungle
yeah.
Book.
And it's like, oh my god, look, it's Bigfoot. And
It's Bigfoot.
It's like that other one. I can't remember what it's called. It's got like horns. It looks like a deer.
Um,
oh dear.
Hmm.
That was awful.
All I can think of is that Pokemon.
Yeah, the
That
one with the.
Pokemon, the one
yeah,
with the horns.
I know what you're talking about.
But, yeah, I don't
I
know.
don't know who you're talking about.
Wendigo or something.
Wait, what am I talking about?
Oh, Wendigos, they're fucking cool.
Wendigos.
They were in.
I don't think Wendigo's on the deer people.
Yeah, that's the
though.
Wendigo.
Wendigo. Oh my goodness.
Did you put it? Where'd you put it? In general.
Oh, Wendigos do have
Oh,
horns.
Do they?
Yeah, it's a deer lad.
Wendigo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They didn't in Until Dawn.
I think originally it was supposed to be like a big ass human with deer antlers, right?
Yeah, I don't think Until Dawn was an accurate depiction of what Wendigos are. Because those people became Wendigos by like cannibalizing.
Yeah.
Wait,
And
what?
I don't think that's how they work in like folklore.
Did you guys see the
Folklore,
new
that's what I
game
was looking
that
for.
the same makers made? It was like
Pardon?
so you know the ones who made Until Dawn? They made another game recently. I think it's called Little Hope. Did you guys see it?
No, I haven't seen
It's
it. I remember you talked
fucking
about it.
garbage. It's so bad. Like it's like unbelievably bad compared to Until Dawn. Like I don't
What's it called?
Little Hope.
Dark Pictures Anthology, Little Hope.
It's just
Is
the
that-
yeah,
Yes.
I think so. It's just that the characters have such broken dialogue and they react in the most weird ways. Not even stupid, just weird.
Sounds like
No,
Although
Fallout.
pretty stupid as well.
Like Fallout New
Um,
Vegas.
And it's just such a reduction in quality compared to Until Dawn, and it was really disappointing. It's so much worse than Anime Reactions, Tom. Like, it's just dreadful. Kind of funny though, watching them be so broken.
I like that about games. Like I think I said it on stream before about like Cyberpunk and how the glitchiness is almost like nostalgic. I quite like it because it throws you
Yeah.
back to the PS1 games, and the glitches were what made it fun.
But when you're trying to make a horror game,
Oh
you
right, yeah.
cannot have these like.
I think if you're
Like-
making a AAA title like Cyberpunk, it's not really like a good excuse. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
They pushed the
yeah,
game back like twice. They weren't going for buggy. Like
I mean,
Yeah.
they weren't
the game
done.
was
and they
originally
got
meant to
forced
come out
release
in-
it.
I'm sure
the game well no, they said the game would be done by April, and then they pushed it back to December. Like imagine if that game came out in April. Like what the fuck would it be?
Be so
I
bad.
Like if you
mean,
look at the state of it when it did come out.
Yeah, I do think for all the hype that they gave it, it's very disappointing that it was so buggy.
it's still not even
Yeah.
fixed though, is it? And it's been like
I'll make a-
couple
yeah.
months.
I'll make a bold statement
I
and
think-
say that it's probably the most overhyped game of all time.
I wouldn't say all time.
No Man's Sky was pretty overhyped.
No Man's Sky was pretty overhyped.
It's
I
quite
think
good now though.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
I think
I quite like it.
Cyberpunk trumps.
Um,
I don't
think
really play
it's-
it that much.
in like indie games and smaller games in general, I think it's sometimes it has a bit of a charm for it not to be perfect. Somehow it makes it better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, indie
No Man's
games
Sky was
definitely.
released like 5 years ago,
Oh,
and they fixed it last year.
Yeah, it took
Oh,
them so
yeah.
long.
I feel like if they fixed it in the first year, then yeah, sure, it might not. I don't know.
well,
just
I
feel like-
mean, did you guys watch the video on like why it was so shit? I don't know who it was by. I watched it a while ago, but it was like there was like 3 guys in the development team, and the lad who was presenting it, he's just the coder. Like, when people ask him, is it going to have multiplayer? Is it going to have this? Is it going to have that? How are you meant to say no and still expect people to buy it?
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
I mean, I bet they. I mean, they probably had a PR team
I
telling
think
him
he's.
how to answer questions.
No, I don't even think that. I think he's just a yes man. Like, I think.
Yeah, but he's
Yeah.
probably been told to do that. Is what I'm saying.
No, but what I'm saying is when he had his first interviews and stuff, there were 3 people on the team.
Yeah.
it was such a small company.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we did watch it together, Tom. But yeah, like I think it's just a yes man. Like when people ask him if they're going to have all these really cool features, is it going to be such a perfect game? He said yes, and he couldn't provide it. I think by the
but
end,
the thing is, you can't say no because then it kills the hype.
yeah, exactly,
and they get cut.
exactly. But because of the nature of what the game is, a super sandbox, like infinite worlds and all of this bullshit, I think the nature is that it's gonna get hyped. So I don't think it's completely his fault.
Oh, we're talking about No Man's Sky here.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were talking about Cyberpunk.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I know the team was really small, and it was I'm pretty sure it was made really near us, where we live.
Yeah, I think it was.
But
I didn't know
like,
that.
It's Folkestone.
yeah, it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Get exposed.
But yeah, like they were just a small indie game company.
Mm.
But like that being said, like crunching is like a big issue in the gaming like kind of world. So crunching is like where employees work overtime and don't get paid for it, and it's like they're kind of forced into like saying that they want to do it.
I see.
So it's like you couldn't fire somebody for not crunching, but if they didn't crunch, then like the employers would look for excuses to let them go. You know what I mean?
I don't think that happened here because there was.
I'm not sure it did happen there.
I don't think it happened with No Man's Sky. I mean,
To be
mean,
fair,
it might
that's
have done. Like
that
Sorry.
crunching phenomenon. Is very like prominent in every single business.
yeah,
Like we've talked about it in finance before, and Sel was talking about how at his job, not in school but his previous job, that they did that exact same thing.
oh yeah.
It's
yeah.
like where
I know
you have to do overtime.
Yeah,
or
yeah.
stay
It happens,
behind
it
late.
happens. Happens
yeah.
in my job as well. You don't want to get on Mr. Smith's bad side. Like
Yeah, exactly.
we have to call him Mr. Smith because he's like a megalomaniac.
Damn,
Alright, fair.
crazy. But like, it's definitely a big issue in like industries like video games because they set these hard deadlines for them, but it's something that is so hard to predict how long something's gonna take because everything is different. You can't just like compare it to another project
Yeah,
because it's
you could
completely
model-
different.
Yeah, you could model a character and have it come out shit, and then you're like, "Fuck, I've got to redo this that I didn't plan for."
Exactly. Yeah. And there's so much opportunities for like setbacks.
Yeah,
But they set these hard dates because they have to if they want the hype.
Yeah.
So crunching becomes a big issue.
They
And
must allocate like a reserve time, surely.
I mean, I know that some do. Definitely like. So it's like, oh, plan A is this date. Plan B, we push it back to this date.
Well, when I was doing GCSE, well, it was a BTEC actually, BTEC IT or whatever it was. You know, I slag it off all the time. But I mean, I did learn a lot of like it's like business like planning. So it's like if you, I don't understand why you wouldn't allocate reserve time. I mean, these people must have known how long games take to make.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm saying because you can't really tell because you can't compare one project to another because they're so different in nature.
But in that case, just overdo it.
It reminds me of this game called Bush Flight Simulator, which was made by this little indie company, and probably about 3 or 4 years ago, when they presented it, it looked like it was going to be like pretty much as good as the new Flight Sim by Microsoft.
All right.
And they just completely stopped talking about it and stopped giving updates, even though they had loads of like videos of them actually trying it out, and they went to like conferences and stuff and showed the public like playing them and stuff.
I wonder what happened.
Yeah,
Lack of funding.
That happens a lot with indie games. Like I don't know if any of you guys remember Yogg's Quest,
no.
the Yogg's Cast game that they were releasing, and then one day it just disappeared after thousands and thousands of dollars had been donated to get the project done.
They pocketed so much money off that.
Yeah.
KSP2 is going that same way. there was a company that hired another company, a little indie games company, to develop it, and in the end, the big company just said no, we're having it back, and the indie game company went out of business because that was like their last saving grace, and they just got it taken away from them by the bigger company. And
Or contract.
yeah, and now it's like, yeah, it was contracted, so now that company's gone, and it's been delayed until like next year, I think.
Yeah. Well, the small company should have pushed for a better contract on it earlier.
Yeah.
But they probably, if they failed after that, they probably weren't in a position to negotiate on it.
Yeah, exactly.
But like,
Contract holder just says what they want, and it's gone.
Yeah, Tom, I'm doing games design at uni.
Games design.
Yeah.
What do you need to get into that?
That's
Like,
sick,
is there any
Bobby, that's
specific
sick.
subjects you need to get into games? design?
No, I think they like computing, but you don't need anything specific.
Did you take computer?
That's pretty cool.
No,
Oh, right.
I don't.
That's
Uh,
I look
what was I
forward
gonna
to
say?
when we are all at uni and we can actually talk about specialities and not be stupid.
It'll be good.
Yeah, that would be funny.
Vast
That'd be fun,
improvement.
yeah.
Why is the giant
I mean,
foot still there? Go away.
Boys, sadly, I'll tell you some news recently in my life. That I want to become a paramedic, right?
Yeah.
So I've done a couple interviews for uni. Sadly, they declined me.
Straight up declined.
Yeah, well,
Damn.
no, not declined, but they offered me some. Both unis offered me placements in biomedical science.
Alright.
Okay.
Yeah, so you know,
That's
I
not bad.
That sounds
highly
interesting.
might become a biomedical scientist, which
You
is pretty
can
cool.
research the
That sounds-
coronavirus.
Yes.
Will you? Will that take you to, like, so what is your career in paramedics just ended then?
Oh no. Because
feel like-
from that degree,
I feel like you
You
should still
can-
pursue it.
You
yeah,
probably
yeah, yeah.
build up from it.
Yeah, you can definitely. From that degree, you can easily go into paramedicine.
Okay.
And many other roles. One really interesting role is a physician associate, which is basically like a TA, but as a doctor, like you're a doctor TA.
Okay.
So a receptionist.
Shut the fuck up. Not really.
I'm joking.
But yeah, it seems pretty interesting to become that. Like, sheesh, you know. So that'd be cool.
I can't wait until we're professionals. God. I also can't wait till I retire.
That's sad. That is really sad.
I think, yeah.
I was just gonna like say that I remember like the thing about crunching is that I think there isn't like any sort of big union for like people who work in the games industry. So they don't realize like the leverage they actually have because they're under all this pressure to crunch, and if they don't crunch, they run the risk of like losing their job.
Yeah.
But if they do lose their job, because these games are like set to come out at this deadline, if they do lose their job, if the company gets rid of them, it's a big hit for the company
Yeah.
because this person's playing a key role, and now they have to find someone else, which will take a long time,
Plus,
and
if
then
you're-
train them, get them up to date on the whole project.
plus,
So
Robbie,
workers do have a lot more leverage.
why don't you just set up a Reddit for when you're a professional game designer?
Oh yeah.
Why don't you set up a subreddit for like game design, and then people
Make a union over
yeah,
Reddit.
yeah. and then people who lose their job and shit collect them, and then make like a mega game with like
Giant
this
game
collect-
studio.
with this huge span of people who all contribute to it.
It's like the Outcasts.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, I guess.
It's the pleb game. Made by plebs who got fired.
Fair enough.
You can make your own little union there.
There you go.
Okay.
Outcasts Game Studio.
Mm.
Name's done already. And
Although, I mean,
change
I
the
don't know
C to like a K and be all like edgy with it.
Oh yeah.
Outcasts.
So, somehow we said that with a K instead of a C.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
Magic.
Didn't they do that song? Hey
Hey,
ya.
yeah.
Yeah. Banger.
Yeah, they made that song. Tune.
Oh, is that a band name?
Yeah, yeah.
Ah,
Yeah, from like the what 90s.
90s, I'd say.
I thought it was.
Yeah, yeah. I
Uh,
don't know.
Shall we move on to another topic?
I think there was a couple
Yeah.
of people that did it.
I don't know how we got from giants to that. But...
I was trying to think of the link when we were talking about the weird goat thing. I was like, how did this happen? Shit, yeah.
Is it just me, or has the resolution of like our names on stream just
Yeah,
gone to shit?
I was going to interview you about that. I was like, I don't know if it's yeah,
Strange.
except when we light up.
I don't think I
I'm
can do
enlarging
anything
it.
about that.
You not enlarge the.
It's not enlarged. It was fine before. It's just randomly changed the resolution of the capture.
Oh well. Strange.
Bit stupid, isn't it?
So we'll just keep talking, and we'll be fine.
Guys,
Uh oh, I fucked up.
James.
What, Jane?
can we talk about some deep shit? So like,
God.
Ooh.
Your mum.
Oh, give this man a promotion. It's banging.
so ages ago, I wanted to talk about like why certain words are allowed but others aren't. Like I understand the N word because it had historical use, but
Hmm.
why am I allowed to kink shame and call someone a cuck, but I can't call them the F word? Because
Can you not?
is like well you can't. It's a slur.
You fuck, James.
Is
No,
it?
you
You, wait, what?
You
What F word are you
femoid.
talking about?
well for the slur for gay people.
Oh, I see.
Really?
Oh, right.
Because there's like a history of oppression there. But if you call someone a cuck, then it's just like, I
Yeah.
don't know, cucks haven't. Well, I guess
Dude-
cucks
dude
have
just
been
likes
oppressed throughout
watching-
history, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
I
you
suppose
mean
that is true.
I
You
feel
talking about
like
fuck or
But
the
I
other
don't
one?
think there have been like many hate crimes against
It
cucks.
just doesn't seem very
You know what I mean?
consistent. You know
I
what mean?
think it all depends. Your I don't know. I guess oppression.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, like Robbie's saying, like cucks haven't had much oppression because I think it's really probably a more recent trend.
No,
We're
it's
being
been,
like,
it's
what
been
do you mean?
around
Oh, really?
since old.
Oh.
Yeah, you
Forgive me.
you can pay for someone to fuck your wife.
Yeah, I'll do it
That's
for free.
God.
Rise up.
Like that is like a dream job right there. Getting paid to fuck people's wives. Oh my life.
God.
Are you thinking of becoming one?
Right here,
Maybe,
officer. I
maybe.
found the horny.
My
The horny- I
I
love
do not want to be
the
horny anymore.
bomb.
I just want to be happy.
Go to horny jail bomb.
But yeah, I just felt like it wasn't very consistent.
Yeah.
Like how
Mm.
society like appreciates not appreciates.
And
I mean,
Outlaws.
gay isn't a
why,
kink,
why,
though, is it?
why is the
Well,
C word so bad
it's-
as well? Like that
Yeah. I don't
That-
understand.
Mm.
that's got no. I mean, it,
Yet
it
dick is
sounds
fine.
disgusting, but
Caravan.
Yeah, but so does gunge
guns, yeah,
Say
and
gunge
Oh,
or,
don't know.
gash.
or slunge.
But dick is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's a name,
Yeah.
but
No.
still.
But there's no
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no
history
oppression.
Male
with that.
privilege. That's
Yeah.
why.
I mean,
True.
Don't get me.
True.
Don't get me. Don't get me. started.
I think we should
Male
start
pri-
it.
Let's get out
Should we
of
get-
here.
Yes,
The
we're
wage
getting
gap,
started,
Adam,
boy.
Adam, the wage gap.
Wage gap.
Mate,
Adam,
wage gap,
Adam
wage gap, wage
opts on the quote unquote wage gap.
Yo.
Mate, my opinion on the wage gap,
Yeah.
it's real, but it's not gender based. Well,
Oh, controversial.
Careful.
it,
Oh.
it possibly might be.
Mm.
Well,
Genuinely, I haven't done a lot of research into
Yeah,
it.
me neither.
Equivocating.
what,
Equivocating.
what my thing is,
This
with
is a
that
new-
is that if companies could get away with paying women less, why wouldn't they just hire women? Like
because
their main goal
damn.
is to make profit most of the time.
No, but like the whole thing about the patriarchy is
True,
that
that's true.
they think men are better at the
Yeah.
jobs.
I think we have a very I think as someone who's poor as fuck, maybe not you, Angus,
Trust fund, baby.
compared to
I'm
these
a trust fund, baby. You can trust
compared
me.
to these mega corporations, right? I think there's a
Angus, the
big
mega
difference in mindset because the CEOs of all these companies are all men, and so I think the other CEOs see that, and other like heads of recruitment or whatever see that, and I think maybe subconsciously they recognize that hey, men are obviously the better choice. That's not what I think, of course, because I'm a poor as fuck little gremlin. But yeah,
Wait,
I think that's what it has to do with.
Man
I
owns
think-
multiple sheep and is
I think,
calling himself poor as fuck.
I think maybe the wage
I
gap
will lie.
is
They're inherited.
caused by that. It's like the CEOs are all men, rather than
yeah.
it gets paid less in a
All right.
in the same position. I think that's
Yeah, but
I think that's the
I think-
difference.
that makes sense. But I also think that I think a lot of people go for the extremes, if that makes sense. So
Mm.
CEO making 1 million is an extreme,
Yeah.
and also the fact that more likely, I'm not saying everyone, but it's more likely that a man will sacrifice a lot more than a woman
See,
to get those really high paying jobs.
Are
the
you,
thing is,
I don't know about that.
Are you
Do you
the
see
thing
what-
is,
Are you
I
in
don't think that's
smoking
true.
penis?
in England,
Mate.
it is illegal to pay people differently because of something like gender. So
Yeah,
I
but you
think
can't
that
prove it really.
well, yes, you can, because if people talked more about what they earned, then people would be like, hey, you're earning 1,000, 2,000 more a year than me, and we do the same hours in the same job, and we're at the same level. Then you could get reparations from the company because you talked about your earnings. I think the fact that there's a stigma on talking about what you earn is one of the main reasons there is a pay gap.
No, but sometimes
if-
people who work the same position do get paid differently.
Well,
But
yeah,
they shouldn't. I mean, if part
But
time,
if somebody is like someone has more experience, then it would make logical sense to pay them more because you don't want to lose them to another company.
yeah, but if
because
you
they have the experience.
that's something outside of gender. If two people who have
Well,
been
no.
working at the same time, at the same position, same hours, same everything, and one's a woman, one's a guy, and they get paid differently, they should talk about
yeah,
it.
this
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but I think
Okay.
I think that they can get paid differently because
Or if they are a man or woman.
experience
I'm-
and sort of ability of work
I'm
is
sa-
something that you can't really quantify.
I'm saying if everything's the same, if they've got the same background.
Well,
and
yeah,
everything.
but how do you prove that they're exactly the same? Like,
Can I?
I mean,
just
yeah,
say-
one might have gone to its. Yeah, sorry, James.
James.
I just say, so I made a point earlier about how the CEOs see other men in their positions and recruit men for higher positions. That's kind of my way of explaining the pay gap because I have no evidence to support or denounce that women get paid less than men in the same exact position in the same exact situation. Although I think they do. But just assuming that they don't, I think the pay gap can still be explained by men having a higher position to women respectively, if that makes
Because
sense.
so
yeah,
what you're saying, if you look at it as like an average,
Yeah. Yeah, so
I
yeah,
understand.
Yeah.
the CEOs of all these big companies and the heads of HR and blah 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 blah, they're all men,
So
bar
do you
a
think
few
it-
exceptions. So I
you think
think
it's-
if they get paid the same, that is how you explain the pay.
So
wage gap.
it's more of a difference in average earnings between men and women. So women
I mean-
take more maternal leave than guys take paternal leave.
Yeah,
So they earn 9 months less
mean,
earnings than men.
boys. I think.
Would you get
Um,
paid for
Oh yeah.
You get paid
Are
for
we?
What's the one about
are we-
James Source, the BBC?
In
Yeah,
America,
I
though,
can't
they
be
don't
asked to
get
look
paid
it
that
up.
shit.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's got such bad employee laws in America, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not-
I swear they only get like.
They don't
Do
get.
they even get maternity leave?
I think they get like a couple weeks,
Yeah. That's
and then
insane.
you have to take unpaid leave off.
That's
for anything
mad.
more than
Insane.
that. It's so stupid.
And you know, to have a child, it costs like 10 grand in
Mm.
hospital fees.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Like to have a child, it's crazy.
Well, I'm all for capitalism. America's form of capitalism is just so shit.
Mm.
It is just so bad. I mean,
You know, I mean, it all heavily depends on what you're talking about as the wage gap. If you're talking about the
Yeah.
study, then it's a whole different story. But if you're talking about individual salaries and stuff like that, then it's again different.
it's
I
much
mean,
more complicated
If you look
than
at two
that.
people working in the same place, having the same job, no one's going to underpay them for being female. Surely. Because they're doing
No,
the same
they
job
don't.
and
I
at the
think they
same.
do.
Their employees are employees, though.
Well, think about
What kind of job would
Yeah.
underpay?
This is why I think job applications and interviews and stuff should be done in a way to mask your gender.
Well, have like a
So-
voice changer.
Kind of, yeah.
Applications do.
Or have like a typed response. But the thing is, we have these interviews, and then they figure out, oh, you're a woman. Okay, I'm gonna.
yeah, because I don't know the exact figures, but a lot of women get asked about if they plan to have families in the future,
Oh,
whereas
yeah.
a lot less men
Yeah.
get asked that.
Oh God, I
And
think
it
it's
can
not
be like a
flexible.
limiting factor as well.
I don't know, boys. I think
do you say yes because you'll be desperate for the job, or do you say no so you'll have
Just
other
say no and then be like, "Oh, I changed my mind. Sorry."
Yeah.
I mean,
No, no,
that's
there's
just
no
on
harm
top
in
of
saying
that.
no.
Because
options? When you're
you
trying to
don't
get,
want to say yes,
yeah, but why though?
because then they have to pay you maternity leave, so they don't
Why?
want to hire you less because they know they might have to pay you.
Yeah,
Why would
yeah.
you
for
say
maternity.
yes?
I mean,
I don't think
There's
that
no
actually
advantage
is.
to saying yes because you can just change your mind.
It's good.
Yeah, I
however,
know.
No one predicts
also,
the
I don't
future.
think that these questions should be asked, very personal questions in an interview, if it's professional.
Yeah.
Correct?
Job interviews are wild to me. Like, they
Yeah.
ask you like, if you were a superhero, what power would you have? Does that actually happen, or is that just on
Have you
TV shows?
ever got a
I'm
job?
pretty-
Whether have you ever applied for it?
No, I've never actually done an interview.
Okay.
My hand
In
fell
every
off.
single-
What would you do?
Something
What
like
kind
that.
of cheese would you do?
Yeah, they ask you stuff like that. And it's just
It's like this
so-
Facebook quizzes.
What's your favourite Star Wars movie?
What
And that's meant
cracker
to
are
tell
you?
Something that's meant to tell you something deep about your psychology.
Take this Facebook quiz to find out.
Job interviews should just be done
Buzz-
through Facebook
Buzz-
quizzes.
BuzzFeed
We have a
quizzes.
solution.
What kind of Disney princess are you?
Yeah.
That's kind of what I
What
was
star
saying.
sign are you?
In this digital age, I think we shouldn't have face-to-face interviews anymore. We should have typed interviews.
Why
where
not?
you can't- So what do you mean? So you can't tell if they're disabled. You can't
I-
tell if they're you can't tell if they're a woman. You can't tell if they're black. So
Well-
completely remove discrimination.
I disagree,
Yeah,
really.
But like,
I-
also, mate, you
Hmm.
get very, very interesting non-verbal cues
Yeah.
from someone's
Exactly,
body
yeah.
language,
Yeah.
and you can't do that via not
I
seeing them face to
Can
face.
hardly talk to
I
people
mean-
over text because of that reason. You can't.
Yeah, like you
Mm.
can't get across sarcasm without
Sarcasm,
making it-
especially, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, you
Why-
can't,
why
you
would-
can't see someone.
Also, why would you be sarcastic in an interview?
It's not necessarily
It's just
that.
an
Examples.
The different
what
tones
I
in your
talk about
voice.
is-
No, I have no idea what I'm applying for.
No, but what I'm talking about
This
is
is a
interview.
job.
We should have these.
Who do you think you are?
We should have these digital replacements for these discriminatory systems.
I agree. I kind of agree.
Yeah, I think discrimination should be just abolished from any job interview.
And how do you do that?
Go on,
Mate,
Adam.
I don't know.
Do it.
I just agree with your
I-
statement. I'm not saying.
Adam,
I'm not
I
giving a
do.
solution.
Prejudice
No, I
right
did.
here,
I
Adam.
do. Didn't rise.
Mate, shut up. Mate, I can't give solutions. I'm not.
James, just because you don't know if you have a solution doesn't mean there isn't one.
No, but I do have a solution. I just said it.
Your solution is I think it's good if you want to get rid of discrimination, sure, but it's just
I
unpractical
think
and
it's good if you
unrealistic.
don't care about your.
The most direct
Job.
way to do it, but I'm not sure it's the best way to do it.
Mm.
I mean, I
It's
can't
like
really speak for much anyway because I've only been to 2 interviews for a very similar job, and none of them are like high-paying jobs where I think that's where the difference is
Yeah,
going to
that's
be.
what.
Because you're not working
mm.
for people, you're more
And you're
having
part
people
of
work
the-
for you on like higher up
Also,
jobs.
maybe I think discrimination is because that is the company's picture. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like you
It-
represent that
their
company,
image.
and so yeah,
That's stupid.
The- it's a bit like when they say at school, "Oh, you're representing the." Shut up! Like
Oh,
you're
what's it
representing the
called?
school and stuff.
The diversity hire.
So I think that might
Yeah.
have a play on it, but I don't know.
Like people deliberately try and hire someone who's like
affirmative
disabled or
action.
female
I think they
or
get paid more if
different
they hire disabled.
ethnic minority.
Like they get a bonus from the government if they hire like ex-convicts. And,
Probably.
They do.
That's
I know for
mad.
ex-convicts, and I think for disabled people. I'm not sure. But I
Uh-huh.
know they definitely do for like ex-prisoners.
Yes, it's a diversity hire just so they can prove to themselves that they're not racist, they're not misogynistic, they're
How
not.
does it work, Tom? How does it work?
How does what work?
What was he even talking about?
Yeah,
I
what's
think
what's
I
going on?
think he was saying that the company doesn't get paid to employ other like minorities. I don't know because
I didn't say that.
I mean,
said
usually
ex-prisoners.
depends on the company, but they pay themselves through their goods.
I'm confused.
I'm
Affirmative
so
action
confused. So
is
many
random
different words are
fuck off
going into my
black
head,
guy.
and none
Comes
of them
in.
mean anything.
Uneducated.
Mm.
I'll be
I
the voice of
don't know.
Tom.
I think boys.
Oh.
I think we can obviously see the divide and see the discrimination.
But a nice
But as a
proper work
17-year-old boy who has no life experience, I
Yeah.
can't give you solutions.
Diversity hire, they choose the black guy.
Is that?
How does it work?
No,
It's-
that-
I'm
that-
so
that-
confused. Why would you tell us how it doesn't work
No.
instead of how it does work?
because no, if you read what he says,
I don't get it.
message. So people think affirmative action is a random fuck off.
Oh, people think.
Yes.
Oh, I missed that bit.
Read all of it.
I thought it was like people think was like the last bit, and then
No.
affirmative action was the new section.
Tom fuck's
So-
allowed
so-
to read.
Basically, what he's saying is that people think affirmative action is like this complete disregard for non-minorities and that they're all going to turn into homeless people on the streets, but that's just not the case. I think affirmative, he's about to say it, so
No, James, I think you're wrong. That's not what he's talking about, isn't it?
it is.
No. I'm so confused.
I get the feeling there's a little bit of tension in the air.
Wait, is that?
I think we can all get very a bit like there's no tension, there's no bad vibes.
Tom's saying that they don't
It's just
hire
like-
the black person.
Well, they don't now, but if we were to put in affirmative action, then they two equal people, one a minority
Yeah.
and one not, they would choose the minority because they probably worked harder because of discrimination. That's what
Do you
affirmative
not think that they would choose the
Wait, I don't
the
understand what affirmative action is. How
It's
do you
like-
put
it's
that in
like
place?
It's
I don't
like-
get it.
thing?
I'm not
Is it
sure.
like a switch we can flick, or is it just a concept?
I think it's just a concept.
Oh, I see.
But if you
But
could,
is Tom saying that this what it isn't is?
What?
if
Oh
you
my god, are
if
you
you
reading
look at it,
properly?
like so
I don't get if he's saying that that's what it
No, no.
is, or if that's what people think it is and it isn't that.
so at the start of each like segment of writing, he goes,
Oh,
so
this
people think
hurts.
blah 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 blah, when in
Yeah.
reality, blah 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 blah.
Okay, let me read.
Nice.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Can't deal
So
with
Tom's
this.
saying that in reality, minorities are more likely to get hired.
That's what affirmative action would bring. Yes.
Oh, but we don't have that yet.
No.
I understand. I
America
get
does.
it. I get it. We're on the same page.
Well done.
Hey, they're playing English.
But if you were to put a monetary gain towards those companies to hire minorities, then you probably would be able to implement affirmative action, which is, I think, a good thing
Sure.
because it would help reduce the effects of what redlining had. So these
Aim
black-
underscore
these-
red line.
these black communities would get a boost to their financial state and hopefully get better, so we don't have so many hoods and slums and
Yeah,
shit.
I get it.
Anyway,
But James, like what you were talking about, like doing like online, like job interviews.
yeah, so you
Like-
can't discriminate.
Like I was saying, like we couldn't have done that like 100 years ago because we got like the internet now. We can.
Yeah.
It's like similar to like direct democracy,
What's that?
which so in most current political systems, you vote for your like area's person
And then they vote for
in the hopes that that person you vote for will vote for things that you want.
Okay,
So you're trying to pick the person who you think will do the best for you,
right.
but you don't get any actual say on what laws are passed. You just get to choose the person who you think will.
So we currently don't vote for the current cabinet. We just vote for, sorry, not the current like. We vote for someone to decide for us.
Yeah,
That's what-
essentially, yeah.
So when
you're
you
trying to
vote
pick the person who will vote for the laws and stuff that you want.
So when you vote Labour or Tory, you aren't actually voting Labour or Tory. You're voting for a person.
You're voting for your seat. Do you understand how like the seats work?
Isn't it something like each like county has a certain amount of seats or something?
Yeah. So basically, it's the country's divided up into like different seats, and those
Counties.
represent a seat in parliament.
Right.
And you vote for the party you want, and then like it's done by area. So,
How many seats per area? Or is it just depending on the size of the
what is the
county?
word? So you vote for your party in that area, so they get a seat in parliament, and then
Right.
whoever has the majority of seats is like the party in charge.
Okay.
So that's how it works in most countries. But with
Also,
direct democracy,
Lads,
you can.
No, what's up?
My
What's
brain
up?
was
sorry. No, sorry to interrupt your intellectual thingy majiggy, but I love
Conversation.
how we I love how we talk about how grass is like 50% grain and 50% water, and then we talk about politics.
It's
It's called diversity.
It's a perfect
It is.
jumble of wank.
It
Brilliant.
really is.
Yeah, look,
Yeah.
There it is.
Tom said it perfectly. You're voting for the party you think best represents you rather than the exact policies you want.
But direct democracy would allow you to vote for the exact policy.
So the people vote on the laws themselves,
Okay, I like that.
which wasn't really possible
Seems much
before,
more.
but
I
with
think-
direct democracy, but with
Yeah.
like the internet, it's a lot more accessible.
I think, yeah, we should do that.
Yeah.
God.
Like, I don't think any country implements it currently, but I know Sweden has like
Hint,
a
hint
system that somewhat resembles it.
Right.
to all the
I
MPs
think-
watching.
I think we should have a system where, as a population, you can assign percentages of the national budget to certain things.
Oh, well, like a vote.
Whoa.
Yeah,
Um,
that's not a bad idea.
Of course, you have like a minimum value towards each one.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think that would be interesting. I don't know if that's a good idea.
I feel like maybe there should be like
But
kind
it's
of a
too-
ratio it can't fall
Yeah.
below.
Too many idiots in the country, I think, to actually implement that.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was one of Greece's. Their senate was run by like philosophers and all that jazz
Right.
because they knew most of the public were just
The
fucking
Senate.
idiots. They were just so stupid. So
Yeah.
a bunch of these dudes who had gone to like whatever their equivalent of university was.
Oh yeah, that's what I'd like to see. Professionals leading countries rather than
Professionals.
fucking pricks.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, I'm not wrong, am I? Like, fuck
Yeah,
Boris,
yeah,
fuck Jeremy Corbyn. They went and learned politics. Fuck off. Let's get Albert Einstein in. Come on.
Yeah.
Right.
Nikola Tesla, our Lord and Savior, Nikola Tesla.
Elon Musk, our Lord and Savior.
Elon Musk.
Oh God.
He's so genius, Elon Musk. He's so smart.
God. Yeah. I look forward to the day where we're run by actual smart people
Oh,
and not these cucks.
just
course,
a
nothing
dream,
wrong with being
James.
a cuck,
Just
but-
a dream.
Yeah, it is just a dream. It's
Just
never gonna
a
happen.
dream.
How do you even?
Speaking
How
of
do you even
idiots,
manage that? Sorry, go on.
Trump was not impeached.
Bruh.
I got a notification while we were just talking about something, but the Senate did not vote
What's-
for him to be
Isn't that
impeached.
because the? Oh, that's the Supreme Court. Never mind. It's
The
like
majority.
Go on.
Sorry, the majority did vote for him, but you needed 2/3 majority. So,
Oh, I
that would've-
see.
yeah, they were. I think they were 10 votes off
That's-
him being impeached. So yeah,
What even happens when you get impeached? What happens?
you cannot run for any government office.
But he
if
already
it-
got impeached.
Pardon?
If
He already got
Uh,
impeached before, so how did he become president?
no, he was so like if
He
you're
got
impeached
impeached
during
when he
your
was-
term,
Oh,
then
right.
you lose your presidency
Yeah,
and someone else takes over.
He did
yeah,
get
the
impeached.
vice president.
But you also can't
But-
run again.
It's it when they say, "Oh, he's been impeached," it basic what they mean is there's going to be like a vote,
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So he hasn't
Um,
been impeached.
but he was acquitted of
Right.
being impeached, so he could run for office again in 2024 if he
Because
wanted
like he's
to.
not president anymore, but the whole point in doing it is so he can't run for a second term.
Yeah,
Okay,
but he still can.
I
So,
see. Interesting.
Yeah. Sorry, just sidetrack a bit.
I mean, he's been in for one term, right? So he
Yeah.
only has. He can only go for one more term.
Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
Wasn't there a president that went for more than they were allowed?
Lyndon B. Johnson, I think, went for 4.
Wow.
How is he allowed to do that?
Because it wasn't a law when he was.
Oh,
I swear Washington was president for Bella.
No, only 2 terms.
Was he only 2 terms, really?
Yeah, dude.
It wasn't a law then, though. He could have gone for more terms.
Yeah, maybe. Was it? I don't think it was. Or was it a Roosevelt?
Random idea. Do you want to ban the shitty Twitch bots? Because they keep
Um,
messing
no,
up the viewer
that's
count.
yeah, I don't really care enough.
They're collecting data. I don't mind us.
Yeah.
Like, it makes it look like we're more popular than we are. and
Yeah,
that
but the
means-
viewer count doesn't count them.
It was a Roosevelt.
It just
was-
makes the count uneven.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Well, I think there's just. Well, the thing is, if we start banning bots, there's just going to be too many of them.
There's
And
only
then we
one. It's
ban-
like the fucking Commander Root that's here every time.
Isn't
3 full terms.
is Crazy W a person?
No, I'll miss
I don't
Commander
think so.
Root.
Roosevelt.
Why?
He had 3 full terms and died 2 months 30.
Yeah, I don't know if Crazy W is.
I don't know. It doesn't matter. Like
They haven't said anything,
it's
so I
hard,
assume
it's
they
hard to
might.
differentiate between a bot and a person because a person could just not be talking.
Yeah. Well, that's the
So-
thing. I was gonna get rid of fucking Commander Root
Is that
for a
the
start.
society you're prepared to live in, James?
Uh,
Androids integrate into humans and you can't tell who's
Oh,
who.
well,
Detroit.
that's not what I was saying.
Become human.
But at that point, it doesn't matter because
You can see how many views they have. As
if
well.
they are, if they simulate emotion and stuff, then that kind of means they
Or
have.
if they're secretly plotting an android uprising.
What are the rules for AI?
Then get on with it.
Like, get on with it, fair enough.
Get on with it. There are loads of bad people. Like let them have their time. It's been too long for the humans to be dominant. Let's get rid of us.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes.
The president makes 400k. Yeah, damn.
Yeah.
We talked about before how they're allowed to buy shares in companies.
Oh yeah, we can talk about that.
I think
That's
we
what we
did
talked
it
about
Mm.
before, though, didn't we?
Did we?
briefly.
It's
We
crooked as fuck though.
talked about market manipulation and stuff.
Yeah. And how
Yeah, but
Elon
the
doing
president
it.
can buy shares in companies. So if he knew
Boys,
that a bill was coming up or something, he can
we
buy
are
shares,
so
sign it.
Just buy shares in Coca-Cola and be like, hey guy, and just tweet
Official
Coca-Cola.
drink of the USA.
Yeah.
I mean, just tweet Coca-Cola because that's what Trump loves doing. He loves tweeting. So
Yeah.
just invest in Coca-Cola and tweet Coca-Cola, and then bang, shoots
Like
up.
Elon Musk, the scumbag.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
our Lord and Savior Elon Musk,
Our Lord and Savior, the great innovator.
the Mars.
So
follower.
intelligent.
Shut
He's
up, you
so
fucking
smart.
Tesla
Oh,
stan.
He invented tunnels and
Guys,
cars
guys.
and rockets.
he invented the electricity. He's so smart.
And what did Tesla invent, Robbie?
Nikola Tesla, or are we talking about Elon Musk?
No, your favorite boy Tesla.
My favorite boy Tesla. Oh, he
Yeah.
invented wireless electricity,
He
an
did
artificial tidal
everything.
wave device.
And
He
you know,
invented the light bulb, but the other guy got credit for it.
you know the Tesla coil.
Such a sad world.
Yeah,
Edison.
Didn't he-
and
mad.
he's so underappreciated.
Did he invent AC? Like alternating current?
Yeah, he invented air conditioning as well.
No, alternating current.
Yeah.
He
Who-
fought for AC.
Who invented
Was
DC
it
then?
AC?
It was
no,
between
yeah,
him
was it
and
Tesla?
Edison.
I think
Because I
Tesla
remember
was,
Edison
Edison
invented
liked
it,
DC.
No.
and he
I
he
think
wanted to prove that DC was more dangerous. So he put an
Oh.
elephant on a metal plate with DC running through it and killed the elephant to prove
it
that
the
DC was more
Or
dangerous.
was it the other way round? Was it Tesla who invented DC and the other lad who invented?
No,
I swear AC is more dangerous.
I'm pretty sure Tesla.
Maybe it was AC
invented
he was
AC.
proving. I might have gone the wrong way.
I can't remember which
I
one.
don't know.
It depends what you transform it to, because with AC you can put it through transformers, and that's the main reason it was successful. Because you can turn it into high voltage, low current,
Tesla
which
invented
is
AC.
Okay, yeah.
Elon
yeah.
Musk.
So high voltage, low current
Yeah,
won't really kill
Elon
you
Musk
as
is
much
absolute-
as low voltage, high current, but of course they're kind of like hand in hand. So high voltage, high current is like death.
The war of the currents. Yeah. Thomas Edison made DC.
Yeah.
Um,
Interesting.
two dudes.
Why
Yeah,
isn't
I don't
Tom
know.
mod yet?
Yeah, why is
And Murder Bunny is,
Should we wait? What?
I
Who
think.
the fuck's murder?
I don't think. No, murder. But he isn't. You can see a list of the moderators and the users in chat.
Murder Bunny.
I
Is it?
swear. Oh, maybe it was like a Twitch Prime thing or
Yeah.
whatever.
What else you guys want to talk about? Straws?
Oh yeah,
One hole.
Prime.
Yeah, no, that's a good question. Straws, one hole or two.
I say 2 holes because
Well, does
They're
it even have a hole? Because it was made like that. Is a hole something
Good
that?
point, Angus.
is a hole
Actually,
something
James,
that's
it's a
got
trick
hole?
question, and a straw is a tube, meaning it has 0 holes.
You're
Yeah,
right.
that's true.
Yeah,
Actually.
that's true. Topology.
I'm gonna guess
God-
one
God loves
hole
some
because,
topology.
as Mr. Roberto explained, it's just a tube, so it has one hole.
Yeah, but a
And
tube
that
doesn't
is-
count as a hole.
It
It's like-
depends how you define a hole, because a tube
Ooh.
is a shape in itself, but it is a cylinder with a hole in it. If you define
but
it as a tube, then it has 0 holes. If you define it as a cylinder, it has 1 hole.
Yeah, but
but
if
it's
you
not a cylinder.
took the shape
Is
of
it
a
not?
straw and then closed one of the ends, that still has 1 hole.
Yeah, it's just not as deep.
No, it's well.
I feel like if it's there intentionally or not, like
Well, I don't know. The butthole is intentional,
I mean,
but
I mean, yeah,
What?
but like,
so.
The butthole is the same as your mouth because it's the
it's
same
a
hole.
sphincter. It's a sphincter, not a
Oh,
hole.
God. Oh,
Same
hold on. Are
hole.
we straws?
We straws.
I mean, technically, we
Are we ink?
Are
someone
we
could
ink?
drink out of us.
guys,
uh,
you have so many
big
enough
sphincters
lung
inside of
capacity.
you.
Sorry,
I don't think you guys realize. Like,
Yeah,
you have
that's a booty
one,
hole. No, Fisher.
Obviously
Oh,
your
wow.
mouth. and at the start of your esophagus you have one, at the end of your esophagus, at the end of your stomach, and then there's one in your intestine as well.
You got 2 in your
And then
dick.
there's an internal
No,
anal
3.
sphincter.
3 in your
And
dick.
then
You've got
2.
shit tons of valves in your veins as well, don't you?
Oh, I found out if you
Yes,
put
shit,
your
man.
arm out on a table
Yeah.
and push down one of your veins and follow it along, you can see it like bulge at one of the valves.
God, I don't
I
know.
hate stuff like that.
I thought it was
Oh,
so
that's
cool.
interesting.
God, that's disgusting.
Pussy.
Cut it off. Go on.
Cut it.
Yeah.
Like
Get rid of it.
slice
Get
through
rid
it
of
right now.
Get rid of it. Don't
Get rid
worry.
of it.
No,
None of that.
veins.
Don't need
I
them.
just want to be a bag of blood.
Blood bag.
Blood bag.
Bye-bye. Yeah.
Blood bag.
Oh, neg.
Careful. Jeez.
Ooh.
Terrible.
Same time.
Putting on the spot.
Tom,
jeez.
honestly, I hate it.
Yeah, don't.
Really?
Can we move on? This is horrible.
So
James, right.
Guys, who the fuck is Piers Morgan?
imagine getting a needle and poking it
the
straight through the
British-
inside of your
Oh,
elbow.
yeah.
Don't know what's going on, Barney.
Pray.
Who the fuck?
I like
Piers
fire.
Morgan?
Jokes on you.
Please tell me.
Mate, he's the like Good Morning Britain geezer, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a
He used to be a
twat.
Mate,
journalist
unknown-
for News of the World, and then News of the World.
Unknown
got
P
unknown
made
for
a song on him.
spying.
Wasn't that the gay person? I swear, trying to get Peter Smith.
Oh no, that's the Oh no, yeah, no. I think it is.
Same-
Big
same-
news, someone is gay. Wow.
Ages ago. This was ages ago.
Very
But no,
cool.
So why is
Yeah.
Morgan a prick or whatever?
What? Why is he a
Because-
prick?
Because
Yeah.
he just talks a lot. He doesn't really know what he's talking about.
Says
Yeah, it's a
us.
fair point. He's also
but
just
he's very-
really sometimes insensitive, I think,
Yeah.
to people. But it's funny. I find it funny. To
He
be
thinks
honest.
he's right, and it's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He just rubs
One
me the wrong
time-
way.
Yeah.
He was like interviewing this girl, and he was like, "Well, you're not very intelligent." And then he was like, "I know Pythagoras theorem." And then he explained that pi.
Yeah, you got it
You're
wrong.
like-
I remember
Yeah,
that.
yeah. And then everyone was like, "Bruh, you dumb."
You know Pythagoras.
The thing is, it sounds
Mate.
complicated, but
Nah.
bruh.
It's really not though.
Wow, what a legend! He knows Pythagoras theorem.
Yeah, dude.
He doesn't even know it.
Everyone knows it's
Yo,
A plus
boys,
B
what
equals
is
C.
that?
Thousands of years.
Pythagoras theorem.
A plus B equals C. You heard it here first.
No.
That's it. That's all you need to know.
Is that what Piers Morgan said?
You see, the roots cancels the square, so see,
I
no
don't know what
reason,
he's saying.
no reason for it
Mate,
to be like
Piers
that.
That's where-
Morgan, he literally said 3.173 or something, like
Ah.
the pi number.
3.1415. 29 or
really
90?
What? But it was also kind of even more funny because he
Okay.
got the number wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Oh, dear.
yeah.
Did he say like?
He's.
He thinks
I
he's
just
smart.
like him because he's just really offensive and it's kind of funny.
Right.
I swear down Pythagoras was the Donny. He sat in the bath, and then the water went up, and he was like, "Damn, I'm made of stuff."
Damn.
There was a
That
cult
was-
Pythagoras made that. I mean, you couldn't touch beans. I'm really
Beans.
He ended up dying in a bean field, I think.
Wow.
There's no way that's true.
I think it's so crazy about what happened in the past. Like, it must have been fucking mad.
And it was
Who was so beautiful that he was like sleeping around with like naval officers and stuff, and he got control of like a fleet or something. I think in like the Greeks in like ancient Greece.
Yeah.
like- This is like historically accurate shit. I think Max was talking about it in Discord.
yeah.
and Just shit that happened in history is
Yeah.
so crazy.
It's so wild, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ancient Rome sounds sick.
he made a cult
Sparta.
saying you couldn't eat fava beans. Yeah.
By the way, Robbie, the thing you were on about is the Archimedes principle. It's all about density.
I wonder, like, what was it, like 100 Spartans versus like
300.
200,000, 200,000
Spartans.
Persians or something? It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
How do you
dude,
do that?
that bottleneck? Bottleneck.
Yeah. It's just so crazy how history, like, I love that we're here and we have vaccines and computers and
Well,
stuff like that. But I would have loved to seen these massive battles between people. Of course, there's a lot of killing involved, which is not Pog, but it would be impressive. I think. I don't know. I just think it's cool. I wish I took history as a GCSE.
I did.
That is
It's a
fair.
bit overrated.
Oh really?
To be
Learned
fair,
about World
history at
War II
GCSE
half the
wasn't
time.
that bad.
I know enough.
didn't
I
really
enjoyed
like
it.
That's
I
cool.
was also really obsessed with like War Thunder, and so history was like really easy for me.
My
Yeah.
guy.
My history teacher was like really communist, and like
Mad.
even though as a teacher you're not meant to like tell students your like political alignment and stuff, every lesson she would talk about communism.
What?
And
Yeah.
it was,
Well, bad way?
what? Sorry?
Would they talk? Would she talk about it in a good way? Or
In a good way.
My guy Stalin. My
Also,
guy.
fun
Look.
fact: she met her husband
Hmm.
in line, waiting to do a tour of Auschwitz.
Oh wow, how romantic.
What? Yeah, what a romantic like meetings, but
Oh god. I always wonder how they record these things, these ancient like things. How do you
Writing them
know-
down.
oh, yeah, let's make half it up, James.
But how do you know that it happened? Like I know there's like historical sources that are trusted and stuff, but like, how do you trust them? How do you know which is correct and which is false?
I probably
Imagine.
look for consistencies between sources.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
But I feel like, especially like mouth to mouth stories can get warped a lot.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it might have taken place, but the
not
numbers
exact.
say that there was a some war that happened between 5,000 people. The numbers might have been inflated to 15,000 people.
Oh yeah, yeah.
100, 200 years.
50,000.
Yeah, and as history went on, it just got bigger and bigger. Does that count as inconsistencies? So
I reckon so.
does it?
I reckon you probably look for, as you say, correlations between
Yeah,
different
I don't know.
sources. I imagine.
Yeah.
If one source says 15,000 and one says 400, then
Yeah.
you know that one of them's wrong, and you look for another source
Yeah.
to line up. Yeah.
Tom, I think a primary source is something that's actually like physical, like so say a diary entry from someone from 1914, whereas a secondary source is like an article that quotes the diary entry.
Yeah.
I believe.
Mm.
I don't know about tertiary.
I think so.
I think that's what it is, but
From my year 8 history.
yeah,
Oh shit, we were in the same history class.
we were in the same history class.
I still got that pop-up book. I don't know if you remember it.
No.
Did it about like trenches and shit.
Oh, fair. I don't remember it though.
God,
Gosh,
I remember you
source
doing
of
that. That shit was
information.
fucking brilliant.
Do you
I
have
had,
Frill?
no,
Or
I
Hansen?
no, well, in year
Or
7 I had.
Nisbet.
He made me cry.
He was a twat.
Oh,
He still
he
is.
was.
He walks around with his fucking cup of tea, right? And then by the time he gets to his lesson, it's all on the floor on the way he came up because he like swings his arm out when he's walking. He drops all his fucking tea.
Mr. Nisbet and Mr. Freel go to my
Oh.
local pub regularly.
Yeah.
Really? Are they mates?
Yeah,
Because
they
there's-
are.
I've
Mr.
seen
Nisbet is
three,
such
four
a
times.
nice guy, but Mr.
Mr.
Frill is such
Nisbet's
a
right.
cunt.
Yeah, I know.
Mr. Freel looks like G-Man. I've always thought that. do you know
Anyway,
what G-Man looks like?
No, I
Talk about
don't.
pictures again.
I'll look it up.
Search up G-Man quickly. Yeah, just G.
Oh, it's from Half-Life.
yeah.
Right. Yeah. I know it. Yeah, I kind of know what you mean. Anyway, lads, I think we should end it.
We've been going for an
Yeah.
hour and 40 minutes.
This has been a fantastic.
It has been good. I like
Mm.
Thank you all for coming. Happy wanking, and I
Yeah.
think we'll be off.
Make sure
Right.
to clean up properly. You don't
Oh
want.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
Be prepared. Don't.
Yeah.
Don't want anyone seeing that shit.
Yeah. No, that's not nice.
Use a sock.
Wash your hands.
Well,
Pro tip.
how about that? Anyway, should we go?
Farewell.
Yeah.
Farewell, people.
Bye.
Bye.
Farewell. Bye.